Welcome back to the Twin Peaks podcast for 2 more weeks and 1 bonus episode.
What? Only 2 more weeks?
Weeks of Peaks.
Weeks of Peaks? We need more weeks of Peaks, Brian. But we're almost done and I don't have any answers.
So Pete's watched ahead.
I did.
And that's going to make... He already struggles to remember what he's seen, and now he's got 4 episodes lodged in there, including 2 he just watched.
I know, and there's so much. I can't believe there's no more. Why aren't there any more, Brian?
Because he died.
How dare he? Who does he think he is, leaving us with such greatness?
We'll try to act like we don't know what comes next, like I've been doing, but I don't know how well he's going to do at it. So some of this will devolve into theories no matter what we do, and so we'll watch along next week.
It's all theories. It's been all theories this whole time.
But we'll have a bonus episode where we use collected thoughts.
Yes.
Instead of just throwing shit against the wall like Pete's going to do for the next 2 episodes.
That's exactly what I'm going to do. Because you know what, Brian? I can compartmentalize. I can keep each issue locked in its own little box inside my head. Much like the box at the very beginning of this series that they were forced to watch. That's how I lock these things up. Not like whatever that guy's name was who let Cooper escape and the monster escape.
You can't do any of that.
What?
You're bad at everything.
I did everything. I'm a genius now. I watched the show.
You watched them out of order last time.
Yeah, but I think that might have helped my understanding. I have a theory now that Lynch meant for you to watch this show backwards, starting at episode 18 and then working your way down to 1.
So that's what it's going to be like. I revisited the last episode of the original show, waiting to get to record this. Mm-hmm. We had some delays because of, I don't know, emergency work based on not going to work all summer. I'm using quotes because, I don't know.
Somebody's register stopped working in the middle of a store day, Brian.
Well, this is what happens when you don't work an entire summer. And I noticed a few things in that last episode, which I've always loved, that episode.
Season 2?
Yeah. Okay. Where they end on all these cliffhangers, where Cooper comes out as the doppelganger.
Right. He's bad, Cooper.
Yes. I noticed a lot of things that, I mean, we've talked before about how you see Laura Palmer in the Red Room say, I'll see you in 25 years, and then this opens with 25 years later. Mm-hmm. But Sarah Palmer makes an appearance and has some kind of entity speak through her in that episode. And I don't believe it's the same thing that we're going to get to in these next 4 episodes, but it could be, or at least it shows she was touched by something.
Now who's going all out of order and
I'm going back in time 30 something years now.
Actually, you bring that up. I really want to watch the first 2 seasons again.
Guess what, Kitty? If you thought these 9 weeks of Peaks were bad, wait until 2027, the year of Peaks. We're not doing that.
We have to. We have to just spend a whole year watching Peaks. We'll do each one like half an episode at a time.
Because there's so much it would take. There's about 29 episodes, I think.
Kitty's very excited, I can tell.
The man from another place, the little man from another place, tells Cooper, I found this mind-blowing.
Is this still in season 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
When you see me again, I won't be me. And he's not. He's a tree.
Fucking hell. Okay. This is why I got to watch this stuff again.
I couldn't believe that. You also see his doppelganger, who pops up as a doppelganger tree in The Return, because he's the one that jettisons Dale Cooper into the void instead of exiting like he's supposed to, all the way back in episode 2.
Wait, that was him as a tree doing that? I don't remember episode 2.
Yeah, his doppelganger pops out of a statue that when we get to, this is why it's going to be hard, when we get to episode 17, is no longer in the lodge. Or 18, I mean. The differences between how he runs through the lodge are interesting when we get to that watch-along next week.
Okay, yeah. But I'm more interested in this one.
At some point, Cooper's doppelganger just turns to the camera and smiles at us, breaking the 4th wall and opening up all of those questions I have.
This is in season 2 still.
Yes, everything I've done so far.
If
I would have introduced episode 15, I could see where you could be confused, but I haven't.
You were talking about season 18, or episode 18. Oh, man, if there was a season 18?
Well, there is a part 15, which is what we'll talk about now.
Yeah, I watched this one in order, Brian.
And it's called There's Some Fear in Letting Go.
Okay. I will take you at your word.
Nadine walks her shovel down to her husband Big Ed's gas station. And this is a big moment for people who remember the original show, which isn't you.
No, it's not me.
Nadine's Dr. Amp fandom has paid off, and she realizes she's been a selfish bitch forcing Ed to stay with her all these years, and she frees him to be with Norma, who she knows he's always been in love with. This is a big moment.
Yeah, why?
Because the entire original show, you feel bad for Big Ed.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't have to tell you again that he shot Nadine's eye out and he stays with her because he feels guilty.
How did he do it?
I don't have the answer to that. I think this would be enough.
Well, it's not. I need to know all of it.
He accidentally shot Nadine's eye out and he stayed with her this entire time, being in love with another woman.
Okay, I get that, but I still don't know why I...
And now she's let him go. So he can go be with Norma finally, which is a big payoff for people that have hearts.
So that was nice.
And memories.
That was nice. It was kind, but then they're gone and I never see them again.
No, you see them in the next scene. Ed races to the diner to tell Norma.
Oh, yeah, after
it's literally the next scene.
After this scene, they disappear.
He looks happier than he's ever looked. And Big Ed is a guy who never looks happy because life is horrible. Remember they ended an episode with him just eating leftovers, staring out the window?
What's sad about that?
Because he's always sad.
That's how I end
his
my...
life's terrible.
That's how I eat my dinner.
Yeah. He's explaining things to Norma when her boyfriend/business associate arrives, and she leaves Ed to talk to him.
That guy's a tool.
And it's one last heartbreak for Ed, who sits at the diner and requests a cyanide tablet.
You know what would have been better? If he was looking out a window instead of sitting at that diner. That would have made him feel better. Stuff happens outside of windows.
People waited decades for this moment that's coming. This is the only maybe positive payoff that happens in all of Twin Peaks: The Return.
I feel like there were others.
Lucy understands how cell phones work, but we'll get to that next.
Hey, stop jumping ahead.
I told you it was going to pay off. We'll get to that next week. Norma handles business swiftly and definitively, and she rejects all the suggested changes that this guy has brought to her and says, "You're buying me out of all the other franchises. I'm just going to own this one. You can fuck off." And then Ed just sits despondent with his eyes closed, just like dreaming of a life he never got to live. Norma comes up behind him and puts her hand on his back, and they turn and they kiss, and he proposes on the spot, and she agrees. Pete, it's a wonderful moment in a city where nothing good ever happens. Someone got a happy ending in Twin Peaks.
I feel like good stuff does happen elsewhere. I'm going to find it. That bad cop got arrested. That's good. They caught him and said, into the jail with you, with the weird guy who's rotting and the lady with no eyes who clicks instead of talks.
Yeah. Okay.
See,
that's the happy ending, is that he's briefly in jail?
Yeah, I guess so. Man,
you don't
right.
think a lot before you talk, do you?
This is a grim town they live in.
Yes. Electricity crackles and we see Mr. C driving down a dark lost highway. That's how you always know it's him. It's why I'm surprised you haven't guessed that Mr. C is Bill Pullman, since every one of his scenes begins with him driving down the lost highway.
Because it's not him. We know it's Bob. We know that. You don't understand. You don't understand how this works, and you've seen this so many times.
Well, he pulls over at the convenience store, which we now learn was called the Dutchman. Oh, what's above there? Because that's where he says he knows where it is, and that's where he heads.
I couldn't. You know what? I somehow missed that, and the whole time because he spends all this time looking for coordinates and shit, and I forgot that the Dutchman was one of the places. Like, he just showed up. I've gotten used to evil Cooper just showing up wherever he wants to be.
Yeah, the Dutchman is what we call the place above the convenience store, the place that we know Philip Jeffries has been, and now is, and the place that. I believe it's the place that Laura enters in the picture that she gets during Fire Walk with Me.
I don't remember that movie.
Of course you don't. It's only been about 10 months. So
you got to tell me more. You can't just say these things.
The old lady, Mrs. Chalfant, gives her the painting, and she hangs it above. She hangs it in her bedroom, and in her dream, she walks into it, and I believe she's above the convenience store.
Huh.
Because when we see in a later episode that we're going to get to next week, when we see Dale Cooper in the same place, it looks very much like the same wallpaper in place that Laura Palmer walked into. So people have been getting to the Dutchman in different ways.
Okay, I wonder why that's called the Dutchman.
I don't know. The woodsman walks him upstairs, and they fade into another reality. And he arrives at the Dutchman's, where Philip Jeffries once stated that he had been to one of their meetings. We saw one of their meetings during Fire Walk with Me, where they're eating their garum bosia, and Bob is laughing, and the little man is sitting there with them. And you see a woodsman over in the corner, and the jumping man, who we get to see a reappearance of next week briefly, and the Mrs. Chalfant, crazy old lady.
I don't remember any of them. I know that meeting was creepy.
Mr. C walks in and says he's looking for Philip Jeffries, and the woodsman leads him to another room and up another set of stairs. It's the same stairs we saw the woodsman standing on when Cole peered through the portal.
Yep.
So there's lots of ways to get to the Dutchman, it seems.
Yeah.
Paintings.
Woods. Anything
portals.
really. Yeah. These portals open up. Coordinates are all over the place.
The next door leads outside, and Mr. C keeps walking into room 8 of what looks like a motel. Room 8, which when we get to, again, next week's episodes. An 8 can be a lot of things, including an infinity symbol.
Well, oh yeah, it can be. What were the three numbers at the very beginning I was supposed to remember?
430.
430. Okay.
Inside, we finally meet Philip Jeffries' giant teapot.
He's a teapot, Brian.
A giant teapot.
You've been telling me that this whole time, and you know what? It was pretty impressive. I thought it was going to be a tiny little teapot. No,
he's a big teapot.
He's a big honking teapot.
He looks like a teapot, but also looks like some of the technology that the giant has in the White Lodge.
And it also looks like the place where Eraserhead lived.
A little bit. Mr. C asks why he sent Roy to kill him and asks if he called him 5 days ago. And Jeffrey says he doesn't have his number. I can't do a great impression, but I wanted to do it anyway. It's confirming that Mr. C hasn't been talking to Philip Jeffries.
Yeah. So the question is, who is he talking to?
That is a good question.
Because I don't know that I know the answer to that.
I don't either. It's probably in here, though.
I should have brought a notebook. You know what I should have been doing this whole time, Brian?
Oh, my God.
It's just writing down...
Bad news, Kitty. We're starting over.
Is writing down little notes about questions I have.
We see a flashback to Fire Walk With Me where Jeffries, in his David Bowie form, says we're not going to talk about Judy. Now, I know that Judy became... Because I've seen this before, obviously, several times. I know Judy becomes a massive part of this story. What I didn't remember was that it takes till episode 15 for her name to even come up.
Yeah, because I haven't heard about her before.
But we've seen her.
Have we?
We've seen her in two different forms. But we've seen her because she is the experiment that kills the two people watching the box. She is the mother who births Bob out of the explosion in part 8.
How do we know that?
Because we know.
Okay.
Because we're able to discern simple things.
Yeah, we'll see about that. Because I have been paying attention. All right, keep going.
Mr. C asks who Judy is, and Jeffries gives him coordinates to ask her himself. Mr. C again asks who Judy is, and Jeffrey says, you've already met Judy. Which, one of the interesting things about this scene is that Mr. C, as we've talked about, has Cooper's memories.
Yes.
So, it's interesting to think about in a way, because Mr. C always seems to be driving the car here. It never seems like anything that Dale Cooper doesn't have any... His memories don't really have any sentience over this body.
I think they're just memories. There's nothing of Cooper. Cooper's over in Dougie Jones's body.
There's everything of Cooper in there because his memories are in there. That's almost everything you are as a collection of those things.
Not.
So, remember though when he was in the jail cell and he looked in the mirror and he started to see his face turn into Bob and he said, "Oh, good, you're still with me." And I questioned that. Like, does he always have? I know he always has control. But it has to mess with you that all of your memories are in there and they're someone else's memories. Because it does form a lot of what you are.
All right. You know what? I can see that. But, you're still you even if you have amnesia and you can't remember anything.
But this is the opposite of that. This is having someone else's entire lived existence.
Right, I get that. But I don't think that's Dale Cooper. That's just Bob.
I know it's not Dale Cooper. But he has all of Cooper's memories. And
yes.
It's impossible to have that not be any kind of an influence on you if you have an entire life experience in your head.
But he's like, oh no, I guess he's only like 50 years old or something, right? Because he was born in World War II. Bob, I mean, with the nuclear bomb.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I still think that's all metaphorical.
I
don't think there's a Bob. I don't think there's a Bob. There's not a Bob walking around.
What?
Bob is the evil that men do. That's what Albert says in the original show, and I've always liked that as an explanation.
But he's an entity. What are all the other entities then?
But, okay. It's an entity, but the little man from another place isn't running around the actual world of Twin Peaks. He's in his own... little dimension. But if he came down and influenced people too, maybe that's just like watching the fucking movie where the kid has all the emotions that play in their head. What's that one called? It's a cartoon that you'd love it because it's a kid's movie.
It's a cartoon where the kid...
And they leave the imaginary friend behind and everybody got sad.
Oh, that was sad. That's how these
In and Out. That's how these...
Not In and Out.
Yeah, well, Inside Out. That's how these things operate, I think. They're not physical form unless they take you over like Bob did.
Okay, yes.
And Mike did to the one-armed man. Like, that I get. But they're not just walking around on their own.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're walking around perhaps in their other dimension and whatever their body, whatever
I just think that's how we see it.
Entirely possible. Because my theory is that fucking David Bowie has lost his form and his shape. Like
that's your theory as you're looking at it as a giant teapot?
Yeah, I think he got lost. And now, somehow this is what he is.
Well, looking at the design of him, and I believe that I know this to be true because I know how the show ends. That was done by the fireman because that looks like a fireman. It looks like the same kind of technology the fireman's working with up in the White Lodge.
Okay.
And when you look at what he is, that machinery is all coming.
No, that
looks so. Whatever he had done to him, it was on purpose, And what he's going to do to Mr. C next is all in line with this plan that we haven't learned about yet.
All right. So Jeffries was looking for whatever at the beginning. He was one of the original Blue Rose case people.
He was looking for Judy.
Right. But he found out about Judy somewhere through just his investigations into the whole Blue Rose phenomena. And then we lost him. And then we lost Cooper.
We lost everybody. We lost Chris Isaac, too.
Oh, yeah. Fuck, Chris Isaac. He never comes back, I don't think.
No, he never comes back.
Man.
He touches the ring, and he ends up in the Black Lodge. He's probably running around that Black Lodge hell of his own.
Yeah.
They're all in their own prisons. Cooper's in prison in this Red Lodge. That's what
Why do you think it's a prison?
Because they can't leave. That's like the number one thing that a prison
huge.
is. You can't get out.
But you can wander around forever. Then is it like this Earth is a prison, if you want to look at it that way?
I do look at it that way. This podcast is a prison.
You can't keep me in this podcast prison forever.
You should have killed me when you had the chance. This podcast prison won't hold me forever, Charles. That's what it is.
That's what I was looking for.
Mr. C brings up meeting Jeffries in Philadelphia in 1989, which would be the Fire Walk With Me thing.
Okay.
And Jeffries says, "So you are Cooper." Which,
yeah, that confused me.
But he's not Cooper.
Right, he's not Cooper.
This goes to my question of, I know that Bob is driving this bus, but that doesn't mean I always know who's giving it directions. Because I know for a fact, because I'm told by Gordon Cole later, that Dale Cooper is looking for Judy.
Okay, yeah.
Why is Bob looking for Judy?
Is Bob looking for Judy?
That's 100% what he's looking for. I can prove that when we get to episode 17.
Well, I can prove things when we get to episode 20.
But is this mission that he's become obsessed with? I don't even think it's his mission. I think it's the mission that's in his head, which works for the traps that the Giant and Dale Cooper and everybody are trying to lay for Bob in the first place. I don't think he's tracking down something for his own purpose. I think he's tracking it down because that's what's in his head.
Huh. Okay. I can see that. I can buy that. I don't know if it's true.
I don't know if it's true either, but when he says, "So you are Cooper," to me, that doesn't mean, "Oh, I know that you're Dale Cooper," because he knows he's not. Or else he'd be talking to him.
Right.
He's not talking to him. I think he means, you're doing this. Cooper's the one who brought you to me. The memories of Cooper in your head are what brought you here. And now you're in our trap. I believe that's what happens because I don't have any reason that Bob is looking for Judy.
No.
And he never voices any reason of his own that would be Bob's reason for doing so. Whereas Cooper, I know he does, and those memories are in there. And if the memories are what brought him to Philip Jeffries, and Philip Jeffries looks at him and says, "So you are Cooper."
That makes sense. I guess I always looked at it, I always assumed that whatever Cooper or evil Cooper was looking for, it was something that would stop him from ever having to go back, forever having to pay the piper for his, I guess, perceived crimes against the other bad monster people.
But I don't know how Judy would help him do that.
I don't know. See, that's what I mean. I just that was kind of always the impression I got watching it. I didn't really think about a motive, but yeah, that's an interesting thing you bring up. Have you seen this before?
Yeah. Because when he tells Mr. C that he's met Judy before, he means Cooper. Cooper's met Judy before. Or I guess you could take it the other way, because if we watch Judy birth Bob in the thing, I guess that's how they met. It's technically his mother type figure. But he doesn't even seem to know that, which is because he's asking who Judy is. So he doesn't know any of that. So that's not why he's looking for it. You have to eliminate the motivation of, he's looking for his mother. He doesn't know that.
Right. We don't really have the motivation. God damn it. I got to watch this again.
He doesn't have one.
I bet he does.
But Cooper does. And I think that the memories are what got him trapped in the first place. I think he stayed in this body too long, and it at least was able to get him where they wanted him.
Well, it does make sense, right?
It's a giant mistake he makes coming to Philip Jeffries. It's a giant mistake.
But they have you're right. If they kind of knew that the memories would have an effect on the behavior of Bob, like just living with those memories all the time, it makes sense that they were able to set trap. Like they have traps, like legitimate, like, he's going to be here at this time, at this, day.
Yeah. It's the only mistake he makes the entire series is that he takes this journey to find Philip Jeffries, because it puts him in place to get fucked. And who does that for him? I think it's just because he's been with these memories so long, he can't tell the difference anymore, which is why he looks in the mirror and has to affirm himself that Bob's still in there.
Okay.
Mr. C is expelled from the room. He finds himself back outside the convenience store. How does he get thrown out? Phone rings, he answers it, and then he gets zapped through the phone line to the outside.
Like a gremlin.
And Richard Horne is waiting for him at gunpoint. He tells Mr. C he knows who he is because he recognized him back at the clubhouse and that he's an FBI agent because his mom had his picture. Mr. C looks at him and says, "Who was your mother?" And he says, "Audrey Horne." This is where we know it's bad. Mr. C quickly disarms him and puts him on the ground and then tells him to come with him and they'll talk along the way. A conversation we never watch.
No?
Yep.
Okay.
As they leave, the convenience store crackles with electricity and then disappears.
As convenience stores do. And if you notice, though, that was they got there on the Lost Highway. I don't know how Richard got there. He must have been following.
More disappearing every day, these convenience stores.
Yeah, right?
Thanks, Obama.
I love you, Obama.
Stephen and Alicia Witt's character, whose name I'll never remember, are freaking out in the woods. And I know she's a Hayward, but I never remember which Hayward she is. If she's the little sister or cousin, I just never remember, and I don't care. She's not important. He has a gun and is contemplating suicide. And the implication seems to be that he killed Becky.
Who was Becky?
Bobby Briggs' daughter and his wife.
No, he didn't.
Okay, can I finish the sentence?
No.
The implication seems to be that he killed Becky, but Alicia Witt plainly states, you didn't actually do anything. And there's a scene in the episode before this where Becky calls the diner and says, I haven't seen him in 2 days. So I don't think that he did. I think he's just fucked up out of his mind. And I don't think that she's dead. Now, it does leave it open enough that she could be, but since nobody seems to know that and we see Bobby Briggs again briefly, I don't think that is possible. No. I'm going to take it as she's fine and this idiot kills himself and the world's better for it.
And that's the end of that guy. We never see him again.
Well, no, because he kills himself.
Or her.
Well, you could see what happens. She gets away when there's a distraction. A guy's walking a dog. He gets distracted. She runs away, and then she hears the gunshot.
Yeah.
You think that she got shot?
No, but I'm just saying in the show, they don't come back. Because now, like, Big Ed doesn't come back.
Oh, I thought you meant he killed her.
Oh, no. She just disappears from the show. Like, we're wrapping up plot lines here.
Well, good riddance to him.
Yes, he was a waste of my time. But he didn't run over no kid.
No, he was a small time piece of shit. Yeah. Piece of shit's all over this place. But they're all going to start dropping.
I'm so excited.
We're back at the Roadhouse, and the DJ plays ZZ Top.
I liked it.
James and Freddie are getting a drink, and James says hello to Renee, that woman he likes that's married. And the husband punches him out and then kicks the shit out of him.
But who's there?
Freddie and his fucking Hall can. But when we get to the watch along next week, I actually have a lot to say about Freddie and the Hall can because I think it's a fascinating detail into what happens in episode 17.
Okay, I just love the fact that Freddie with the hand there, he's just like, "Oi, mate," and punches someone's face off. He really knocked his block off.
They're taken to the cells beneath the police station with Chad and Nido and the weird guy who repeats things.
Whose face is falling off, I'd like to point out.
He's ripping it off.
Yeah, that's not healthy or normal.
The Vegas FBI think they've managed to find Dougie and Janie E., but they, of course, have the wrong people. I think I mentioned last week that I'd watched an entire procedural show that was just these two guys trying to conduct their business. But we won't ever get that show because the blonde one died since we last did an episode. He was younger than us. It's terrible.
We didn't even mention him by name, though.
No, he was younger than we were.
That's too bad.
He's younger than we are.
Because when they first showed up and he yelled at the guy, whoever the director of the FBI branch in Las Vegas, he's like, "God damn," and just screams at him. I was like, oh, I loved it, and we're never going to see him again. Oh, they keep coming back, and he keeps getting yelled at.
I really wish they had been a spinoff of this. It was just...
Imagine if they had to do...
FBI Vegas.
It was those two, and then Frost and Albert would...
Frost?
Or Gore.
That's a guy who created the show.
It's a guy who interviewed Nixon, too.
Ironically, the other guy that created the show is the one you're misidentifying.
Yeah, but now you made me forget my... What was I saying?
Cole and Nixon have to liaison with
Yeah, that would be the show. Albert and Cole and those two.
They should join the Blue Rose Task Force. How did we not get this? I'm incredibly devastated this man died.
I am too.
And Lynch, I suppose. And Albert. I guess there's a lot of reasons that we can't do this.
Oh, yeah, right. There's nobody left. We just lost the original Blue Rose Task Force.
We just lost everybody.
Oh, gosh.
Tammy's all that's left. Oh, no. Cooper's still around. Or is he? We'll get to that next week. Creepy face guy gets his head blown off by Jennifer Jason Leigh. So he was the second person. When I remembered because I mentioned Janie E. and you're like, I just mentioned that she was there with Dougie. And you said, are we sure that's the second person? I was like, I don't know who else it is. And I was like, oh, I know one other person that's in Vegas. Now, is he the one in some way that was the one pretending to be Philip Jeffries? Because he had a weird device on him early in the season, too, that looked like the one that disappeared that Mr. C was trying to contact.
This is...
Remember one is in Buenos Aires and it disappears? I think he had the same kind of device earlier in the season.
Okay. This is the creepy guy who just sat in the big room and then...
He told Ike the Spike to go kill
Yeah,
Dougie.
he
told
seemed...
Tom Sizemore to go kill Dougie.
But he was getting orders from somewhere because there was that other phone that... Like,
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So
okay.
is Philip Jeffries talking to him, and then he's the one who's relaying false information that makes Mr. C think he's talking to him? Because why else does Mr. C want to kill this guy?
You know, I looked at that.
And I think he had a device like that early in the season, the same one we see disappear in Buenos Aires.
I was under the impression that all of this, because even when we go back to the beginning, Mr. C basically kills everyone that he's had any kind of contact or dealings with.
When did he have contact with this guy? That's what I mean. I don't know what else it is.
I think that I think he did. I think this guy was just part of the whole operation. Maybe he did go bad, and that's why Cooper killed him.
Well, it clearly went bad. He's the one who was in charge of the entire ridiculous plot that Dougie Jones fells in Vegas.
Yeah, he was bad, but I don't think he went, I guess, good. I think he might have been evil the whole time. Did he turn on Cooper? These are all questions I don't have answers to, Brian.
I think every single bad person that worked with Mr. C, aside from Jennifer Jason Leigh and Tim Roth, who were just having too much fun, eventually turned on Mr. C because he's a different level of problem.
Because we saw that with the three small timers at the beginning. Was it Ray?
Anybody who's in league with Mr. C knows that he's worse news.
Okay, so you're thinking that they all turn on him.
I think they all do eventually. Yeah.
So he just ends up murdering everyone. Just doing business, I guess.
After she kills him, they sit and eat fast food. I think they had like the most fun, these two actors, of anybody in the series. Because they didn't have a lot of work to do. They mostly sat around eating junk food and fast food.
Jennifer Jason Leigh and Timothy Roth?
Yeah, Timothy Roth, yeah. And they just sat there pigging out and saying nonsense in Southern accents. And I think that there are times where I look at Tim Roth's face and I'm like, I think he's going to break. Because I think he's having the time of his life with the lack of pressure and the amount of fun he's having.
I think that I agree with you. I think Timothy Roth, the actor, was having fun, but I also think that made the character so much more interesting because these two people are clearly enjoying themselves. This is like a little vacation for them.
It's perfect for them because, like I said, they're maybe the two best known actors on this entire show, and they have this small nothing part, but they're having a blast doing it. They're getting to work with David Lynch. They're clearly creating these characters just on the spot, and just having these hilarious conversations. It must have been, and these people both people that have led movies and been big parts of movies, and now they're sitting there in an 18-hour thing just popping in to do funny bits. I think they had the time of their lives.
Everything about them was vaguely comedic. When they go kill the creepy guy at the desk with the phones, they shoot his partner, his little lackey, and the lackey's groaning, and she's like, oh, and she goes back. Like, it's comedy. Murder is played for comedy with these two.
They could have been side characters in our FBI show in Vegas, and we never got it.
Frenemies.
I guess they couldn't be if we continue on with the story. Janie E. brings Dougie some more cake. I don't know how he stays as fit as he is with his diet.
Janie E. now is, just to recall, she's the half-sister of Diane.
Yeah.
Okay, and they're estranged.
Yes.
Okay.
She's so much happier now than she was when we met her. Dougie manages to accidentally turn on the television while eating his cake, and Sunset Boulevard is on.
Yeah, because they say the name Gordon Cole.
Yeah, you think I was going to get to that?
No, because you brought it up before. So I want to know, what?
It's a character in Sunset Boulevard. That's where he took the name from.
And Sunset Boulevard's a show or something.
It's a movie.
It's a movie.
It's a very famous movie.
I've never heard of it or seen it.
I'm ready for my close-up.
Mr. DeVille?
Yeah, DeMille.
No, I guess I thought that was on the waterfront.
It's a story of a vestige of old Hollywood getting thrown aside by new Hollywood, and she gets a call that she thinks she's gonna get this role in this big picture, but it turns out they just want her old car, and she, I think, mentally snaps. It's a pretty great movie.
Does she kill people?
No, but it's a pretty great movie. And there's a character named Gordon Cole, which leads to a scene where he hears the line, "Get Gordon Cole," and responds to it bigger than anything he has before.
Yes.
It's a genuine jolt to his system.
To hear that name.
Yes.
All right. But isn't this another example of a real world thing? Like, that's a movie in our world. Like, who's the girl
Pete,
with the...
You've seen the end of the show, right?
Yeah, but I kind of forgot already.
Okay, because we'll get to... let's take the Roadhouse. I've mentioned before, I think realities are blending.
Yeah, no, we've known that because we've seen that before. We don't even know where Audrey Horne is. There's that weirdness with that little guy who's her husband, I guess.
Sure. I mentioned Dale trying to get into outlet 15 back in part 3. Well, here we are in part 15, and Dougie sticks his fork in the electrical socket.
He pushed the button.
Of course, it's electricity.
It's always electricity.
Now, do you remember what room he stays at the Great Northern that he needs to get the key from in episode 17?
430.
315. Episode 3, episode 15, socket 3, socket 15. They enter room 315 to leave the...
Come on, I got to start counting numbers of episodes now and try to tie them into...
What do you think counting is?
I don't know, where you put numbers next to other numbers and get numbers in a row?
The log lady makes her final call to Hawk.
No.
You think people are enjoying this?
You don't know what death is.
It's incredibly sad. I believe this woman died 4 days after this scene was shot.
That's why I'm sad, Brian. I'm lamenting right now.
Hawk listens to her final words. She says things that are incredibly sad, like I'm dying. Death is just a change. There's some fear in letting go, which is the episode title.
Oh, there's where it is.
And my log is turning gold. They say goodnight to each other, and after he hangs up, Hawk says, "Goodbye, Margaret," and it's also sad.
I didn't like that part.
And then Bobby, Andy, and Lucy join Sheriff Truman in the conference room, and Hawk enters to say that Margaret Latterman has passed away. And now they're all sad. Now we're all sad together.
And now I'm sad again thinking about it. That was sad.
It is, but when you remember that this entire show began, at least in part, because Lynch couldn't stand the disposable violence and deaths on television, taking this moment to not just highlight Catherine E. Coulson on her literal deathbed, but then to have the characters stop and pay homage to her is exactly in line with what Twin Peaks always has been.
Right. And it's a thing I don't like, but I do like, is the fact that now that we've brought in the blending of worlds or the switching between, this is like a real, I mean, it's very obvious that this is a real person, this isn't just somebody acting. This is somebody dying, and it's real life. It makes, it hits a little too deep.
Well, then we're back with Audrey and Charlie.
Yeah.
And
What's up?
They argue about leaving again. He's ready to go, but she's the one having the problem getting going. And Audrey eventually attacks him. And I thought he was funny in the scene because he's just like, "You're the one who wanted to go. I don't want to go, remember?" And then she's like, "I think so." And she can't remember. And he's like, "All right, I'm taking my coat off. If you don't want to go, I'm taking my coat off." And then he turns, walks through and goes, "Coat's coming off." And I was like, that is such a real moment.
I fucking hate that guy. That guy is some kind of dick. And I don't know what his deal is, but he needs to get his.
Do you think he's likely to?
I think so.
Back at the Roadhouse, another band plays while characters we don't know do stuff. Two bikers want a booth with a girl sitting in it. So they pick her up and they set her on the floor and they take the booth. And she cries and slowly crawls on the floor through the people on the dance floor. Well, nobody pays attention to her. And then she screams. And then the show does something it hasn't done through 14 episodes. It cuts to black before the credits, as if a TV show episode just ended, which it hasn't done the entire time. Credits just play over people playing at the Roadhouse. Mm-hmm. She screams, and it cuts to black. I wonder if that's going to come back in some way.
I don't think it does. I've watched ahead.
I don't think it does either.
No, I really don't think it does.
Okay.
No.
It's almost like her scream cut off the show. And it's interesting, isn't it? They play the credits over a shot of the motel Philip Jeffries was in instead. But this is the first time that the camera cut.
What hotel?
He's in a motel when he goes to see him in room 8. What do you think the room 8 was?
Oh, that thing. Yeah. I didn't know that. I don't know what that was. I thought it was a weird apartment complex or something.
So after we watch a girl's scream cut the show to black, the episode is in memory of Margaret Latterman, a character on the show. All of the other ones so far have been actors playing the characters, including Catherine E. Coulson. Now the character gets an in memory of at the end of this. It's interesting choices happening in Twin Peaks: The Return as we
all right.
ramp up.
So I didn't take that scream as a like a demarcation point, because there's lots of these things where you can.
Okay, I'm not talking about the scream so much as the camera cut to black, which is never done.
Right.
But before the credits, it cuts to black like a regular TV show would, which is never done. But knowing what you know about the future of the show, a scream doing it is at least somewhat notable.
I'll take your word for
Oh
it.
my God, you just watched it.
I'll take your word for it.
All right.
I just assume that I haven't seen anything past these 2 episodes that we
But I know
watched.
you have.
But I don't
In the
remember
last
them.
hour, in fact.
But I can compartmentalize.
No, you just can't remember.
Isn't that a form of compartmentalizing?
Doing a podcast with the world's dumbest goldfish. And you can't take offense to that because you can't remember I said it.
I had a goldfish named Tic Tac. He was orange.
They're all orange.
Then why aren't they called orange fish? All right. So, no, when those 2 bikers showed up to the girl at the bar, I thought something bad was going to happen because that's what always happens in Twin Peaks is badness.
Are we in Twin Peaks?
I have no clue. We're at some fucking roadhouse bar where people come up and play music, including Nine Inch Nails.
Which is in Twin Peaks. And we've seen James and we've seen Shelley and we will see someone else from Twin Peaks in the bar. But I have questions still about what's going on at the roadhouse.
Okay. All right. Keep going. Because
To part 16.
is that where we're at? Already? That's how this one ends?
No knock, no door. Yes, it ended with her cutting off the show, the credits coming up, and in memory of you didn't. That wasn't none of those ticked off that we were at the end.
I can't trust anything Lynch does anymore. He has blurred all conceivable lines, and I am lost. I might be Dougie Jones.
Like Robin Thicke.
Pete E. Jones. Wow. What, is that like 15 years old? We're getting closer, like more recent with our references.
That's the most recent reference we've ever
Really?
made.
I like these. All right. We're catching up to the now times.
Part 16. No knock, no doorbell. Shots of the Lost Highway put us back with Mr. C and Richard Horne.
Now, that is like, you understand that every time we see that, for the most part, that is clearly traveling between like spaces or dimensions or something.
You know what all roads do, Pete? They travel between spaces.
Yes, but this is like a metaphorical spaces and different worlds and different places that exist in pocket dimensions attached to our world.
Well, I haven't seen Mr. C leave this dimension. They arrive at one of the sets of coordinates Mr. C has gotten over the course of the series. He's looking for a specific place, and he's gotten 3 sets of coordinates.
Yeah.
From Diane, from Philip Jeffries, and from Ray.
Right.
2 of them match.
Yeah, which 2?
I know which 2. I don't know that it ever is explicitly stated. But
Okay.
the person who gave him the right coordinates was Diane.
Really?
Yes. Which goes back to my point of everybody turns on him. Ray had already turned on him, too.
Yeah,
Everybody turns on him. 2 of them match, and they're checking out the 2 that match. Because that's what I would do, too. But Mr. C's a clever motherfucker, and he's like, I think more people want to trap me than they want to help me.
Now, that brings up, why did Mr. C think that he and Jeffries were working together?
He thought he was talking to him.
Yeah, but why? Like, why would he?
In fact, that's probably why he decides to take not the core, because the one that Jeffries gives him matches the one that Ray gave him. And normally you'd think that's got to be right, but when he hears him say, I don't have your number,
Yeah.
he thinks these aren't going to be, I'm not talking to you.
No, that hangs.
And I know Diane gave him the right ones because we know something about Diane later in this episode and where she comes from.
Right, but shoot, see these thoughts are so deep and dense. Why would Mr. C be working with Philip Jeffries to begin with? Is this part of the Dale Cooper memories that are kind of making him think he wants to look for Judy, just like Jeffries was?
I just don't know anything about Philip Jeffries, except that he
Southern.
disappeared a long time ago, and now he's a teapot. And if he's been to the convenience store meetings and he's now living above the convenience store, I think it's pretty easy for the entities to think he's on their side now. Like he's undercover.
I don't know. I didn't think he did anything with the entities. My feeling was he was just there.
When you hear about Philip Jeffries this entire season, there's never a time where you're like, well, he's definitely a good guy still. Like on the FBI side and the Blue Rose Task Force, nobody's talking about him like that. So that he betrays, in quotes, Mr. C and is still working on this Dale Cooper plan that we're going to learn about in next episode. It is not like a shock because you don't know anything about Philip Jeffries, but it was still a question. Mr. C sure seemed to think he was on Team Mr. C.
Yeah.
But he also thought he was talking to him until the moment he tells him he's not. So
he had suspicions, though,
but it was believable.
With Ray, way at the beginning, when Ray said, hey, Philip Jeffries is the guy I talked to. So now Mr. C has doubt.
And that was true.
Yes, that
Because
was
Ray also gives him the same coordinates that Philip Jeffries does.
Right.
which is how you know the two. It's another way you know which two were the ones that matched.
That would make sense. I sat there when I watched it. I'm like, I wonder which 3 coordinates are which 2 matched up. Who gave them to who?
Jerry Horne runs by because his story of trying to escape the woods is intersecting with this. This guy got so high he ran all the way to Wyoming.
No. He went through in the woods. He wandered. It was a lost highway in the woods because sometimes you see those too. And that's what happened to him when he was wandering. And I guess this one took him to Wyoming.
Well, he gets to watch what happens next without ever knowing what's happening, understanding what happened, and then blaming his own binoculars for what happens. And then you realize that's his own nephew down there. Or grandnephew, right?
Oh, yeah.
And he doesn't know that because he doesn't know what the fuck he's looking at. Because he can't figure out how to use the binoculars he's looking through.
But the binoculars told him that those weren't people down there.
Mr. C sends Richard to stand at the coordinates, and he's hit with a metric ton of electricity and is burned up. Mr. C says, "Goodbye, my son," confirming the horrible theory that he raped Audrey Horne while she was in her coma.
That's right. And he sent him up there on purpose because he thought it was a trade. It's like, you got like 25 years on me. Why don't you go up there?
There's a great reason. You're 25 years my junior. Get up there.
Right.
And it's like, Mr. C's a badass tank. He could get up there quicker than you. Jerry Horne blames his binoculars.
But of course.
And then Tim Roth and Jennifer Jason Leigh are parked outside Dougie's house in Vegas. And the Vegas FBI finally finds the right people. Just in time to sit there and watch things happen without doing a goddamn thing about them. I would watch 10 seasons of this.
But just all of them, you've got Timothy Roth, you've got the FBI. They're all sitting outside Dougie Jones's house with all the stuff that keeps happening. The Mitchum brothers show up, start unloading food.
Do you think this is the best way to do this? Where I introduce a scene and then you just pick up parts that are going to happen knowing that I'm going to get to them?
Yeah, I do. Do you think it's better to just sit and read everything?
I tell you what happened and then you can react to it. But you do the opposite.
Okay.
You just do the same job I do, but worse.
Okay, you say everything and I'll be quiet.
No, then you can tell me what you think of the scene. But instead you tell me the things you remember from a scene that I'm about to tell you.
But
Do you see how that's not great?
Well, all right, let's try it your way. Go ahead and read the next scene.
Okay. Of course, no one is home because Dougie electrocuted himself at the end of last episode. Dougie's in a coma in the hospital. So we cut back and forth between his house and Dougie in the hospital. So the best way to do this is I'm going to just break them into chunks instead of having to keep going back and forth. Janie E. and Sonny Jim sit by his bedside, and Mullins and the Mitchum. So you're already getting to they're showing up at the house. They haven't shown up at the hospital yet.
Now, is this part of the recap?
Yes. Mullins and the Mitchum brothers arrive to visit, and Candy and the girls are there too. They bring finger sandwiches to eat, and the Mitchums ask Janie E. for a key to their house so they can stock her kitchen with food. They're the best.
Well, you just described the scene.
Yes, and now you can tell me if you've had any thoughts on the scene.
No.
Like 8 weeks of this, and then we're trying to finally get this thing down. We cut to this random shot of Gordon Cole looking at some machines or whatever, wherever he is. And I realize that it's only there so they can cut back to the hospital without having to have the Mitchum say goodbye to everybody. It's literally the only reason that shot exists.
You think so?
Yes, because when they cut back, the Mitchums are already gone. So I didn't have to see them go through the getting the key, telling them what they're going to do, asking for this, telling them say goodbye, well wishes, Mullins. They just are now gone. It like cuts in time. They have to cut forward in time to the same scene. They're cutting from the hospital to the hospital.
No, there was something.
And there's
there.
a time jump. So they just stuck a shot of David Lynch looking confused in his
because there was something happening. There was something important. Lynch started to figure out. Well, not Lynch, but Gordon Cole started to figure out something. I think with his magic ear pieces.
We'll try again. But where do they place that scene? Whether it's important or not, where do they place this 5-second scene? In between something that happens in the hospital room and something that happens in the hospital room. Except there's a time jump. But so the way that they show the time jump is by putting another scene in there.
But we saw the Mitchums get the keys from
But we didn't see them say goodbye to everybody and do all. That's why they did it. They got the keys. You got the information. So instead of having to go through the whole ordeal of watching them leave to continue the scene, he just cuts to something else randomly for 5 seconds and then cuts back to them sitting there later in the day.
It's not random.
Okay. You're the most media illiterate person I've ever met.
But
because you're incapable of thinking of things in more than one way.
It means something that he put that there. Like,
yes, what it means is he wanted to continue in the hospital room, but he had to cut for time.
But why wouldn't he just show, like, I don't know, a tree or something then? Why would he jump back?
This is just the thing he chose to show.
But
Okay, even if you think it's important, couldn't it have just been the beginning of the next scene that Gordon Cole is in?
No.
No, of course not. Because it's really important, the time jump between him standing there and then Diane coming to the room.
Because it's showing what everyone's doing. Because you just told me it was jumping between his house and the hospital room. So we get to see everything.
And in this case, it cut from the hospital room to the hospital room and had to put something in between to show the passage of time. That's what I'm telling you.
Okay, I can accept that, but I don't accept.
Nope, that's it. Nope, we're good. We're good. We did it. Janie E. takes Sonny Jim to the bathroom, and Mullins takes a call about the FBI coming to the office looking for Dougie. They're on their way to the hospital. I love it because he goes, the FBI? What's he done now? He's in a coma. If he didn't solve all of Mullins' problems in his Dougie state, I just don't know what... Because he just found out that this guy was involved in the corruption, the previous version of Dougie Jones. Which the reason that Dougie Jones sucks is that he was made by Mr. C. That's why he sucks. So, of course, he has gambling problems, and he's...
Oh, that makes sense.
Yes.
I didn't think about that. I just thought that, he was a simple thing that went wrong.
We're about to learn that Mr. C has the ability to make these things above the convenience store. So, that's where Dougie Jones comes from. But he's an impure, tainted, sullied version of the DNA.
Well, I think it's a pretty good version of the DNA if it's been infected by a Bob.
I don't understand.
Like, it is good DNA. It's bad Cooper DNA, but it's good Bob Cooper. It's good Mr. C DNA. I'd say it's a pretty solid... No? You're looking at me like it's not.
I'm not looking at you anymore. Some FBI members park outside Dougie's house, so now 2 cars are staking it out, with Tim Roth and Jennifer Jason Leigh still sitting there to kill him, eating their bags of garbage. And she gets really mad at one point. She goes, "This is the last bag."
They've been there a while.
She's worried she's going to run out of junk food. The Mitchums pull up in a limo with a van full of food.
Told you.
But there's so much food in this van, and they only take some of the boxes, and they leave a lot of food in the van. So do they have other places they're going to?
Yep. That was my impression.
It was very strange how much stuff was in there for them to take one cart full and then move on. Not that they needed more food.
They've got their $30 million, right, from the settlement or whatever it was. So,
and they're filthy rich on top of that.
So now they're just giving away. They've been infected by the Cooper. He's giving away good now.
One thing about that $30 million is that, well, they were obviously angry. It felt like they were getting screwed because they actually were getting screwed by this thing that the original Dougie Jones and Tom Sizemore were trying to do. They were getting screwed. But at the same time, they didn't seem like they were going to be that hit by it. Like they were kind of like, okay, this is horrible. Let's kill some people, I guess. But also, it didn't seem like they were really going to be hurt by losing the money.
It wasn't going to bankrupt them.
No, they were fine. Another car pulls up and parks in front of Tim Roth's van and says they're in his driveway. And they look and say, "We're not in your driveway, you motherfucker." And it escalates immediately to the guy getting in his car, who has like a Russian accent. It's a weird neighborhood. Oh, we're going to get to that. And hits their van and starts pushing it backwards. So they all take out guns and start shooting each other. Meanwhile, FBI is just sitting in their cars looking like, what's happening down there? Jennifer Jason Leigh shoots at him, and she gets shot back. And during the shootout, both Roth and Jennifer Jason Leigh die.
Aww.
As the FBI and the Mitchums watch. Belushi says, "The fuck kind of neighborhood is this?" And Nepper replies, "People are under a lot of stress, Bradley." These guys are the best.
They are. They are. I like Jim Belushi throughout all of it. He can't figure out anything. Like staring at Dougie in a coma. So electricity? Like he just does.
Now that would have been something you could have put when I had the scene I told you about that the Mitchums had visited in the hospital. You're getting closer. This was only about 10 minutes late.
See, I got it all in there. I don't like having to do things in order because that's not how the show is meant to be watched or thought about.
The FBI finally gets out of their car and they arrest the shooter while the Mitchums decide that it is time to go. But thankfully not leaving the show.
No.
They'll be back. Back at the hospital, a strange tone can be heard as we hear all the times that the Black Lodge entities or things are about to start popping off.
I don't remember this part.
You don't remember Mullins looking around for where this hum was coming from?
Oh, yeah. And then I see.
And then what's the next thing we see? Mike pop into the chair and sit there and be like,
right.
time to wake up, motherfucker.
I forgot that the hum started.
Mike appears from the Red Room and Dougie wakes up, only it's not Dougie. In episode 16, Dale Cooper is finally back. And Mike asks if he's awake. And Dale replies, 100%. And everyone, you fist pumped the air in 2017.
Not
so
me.
happy to see Dale Cooper back. Mike tells Dale that the other one didn't go back in and he's still out. and he gives Dale the owl ring, which Mr. C has been trying to avoid for 26 years now.
Who did he stick it on? Oh,
27
Ray.
years.
He stuck it on Ray.
Yep.
Okay.
But he made Ray stick it on himself. He won't touch the ring.
That's right.
The ring that made Agent Chet Desmond disappear.
That
The
was
ring that Annie
Chris
had
Isaac.
on her hand that was stolen by the nurse that never goes anywhere. Because somehow it just gets back.
Okay.
Dale asks if Mike has the seed, and Mike shows him the little gold ball that came out of the manufactured Dougie Jones. Dale gives Mike a lock of his hair and says he needs him to make another one. But this one's going to come from the good stock.
And I know why. Even without having watched ahead, because he needs to replace Dougie Jones, because Sonny Jim needs a dad. And somebody's got to be...
Yeah, he has all the memories of living this life. And in a tragic way, it was the happiest time of his life. Because he's about to leave it all behind for this mission. Janie E. and Sonny Jim and Mullins return to find him awake. Dale sends them to find a doctor, and Mullins tells him about the FBI. The doctor confirms Dale's in fine shape. I don't think this doctor does a great job here. Your vitals are fine. I guess it's time to dismiss you. You were just in a coma 1 minute ago. I think you need to be held for observation. But he's a very forceful person.
He took off all of the monitoring
I know.
equipment, and then she looked at the machines and said, yeah, you seem fine, which I assume are all flatlining at that point.
Women doctors. Sonny Jim notices his dad is talking a lot, and Jeannie, he's like, yeah, he sure is. But is this even the weirdest thing that's happened to them this week?
Dad can drive a car.
Now, when you realize the original Dougie Jones obviously talked more than this Dougie Jones did, he doesn't talk a lot. Mr. C doesn't talk a lot. He does talk, but he doesn't talk a lot.
He never shuts up.
Mr. C?
Yeah, he's always like, goodbye, my son.
Yeah, he's always like that.
Always just jabbering on.
Dale asks Mullins for his gun and tells him to call the Mitchum brothers. He tells them he's bringing his family to the casino in 20 minutes and he's a jet to Spokane, Washington. The Twin Peaks theme plays for the first time within the show itself, and it feels just right as Dale prepares to re-enter the story properly. He gives Mullins a message for Gordon Cole and thanks him for everything, and Mullins says, "What about the FBI?" And he turns and says, "I am the FBI." And people cried when this happened.
Did they really?
It's such a perfect moment.
Okay.
We've never been more back.
Okay.
The Twin Peaks theme playing, Dale Cooper turning and giving an "I am the FBI." It was an amazing moment.
I don't know if I thought I wanted him, because if I remember correctly, people really wanted Dale Cooper to be back. They just wanted Twin Peaks to be continuing pretty much from where it left off, and all of this nonsense with Dougie Jones and stuff made people sad, right? That's the way it went?
Yeah. No, they just made them nervous because, like, are we never getting anything with Dale Cooper?
Now that Cooper's back, I kind of miss Dougie Jones.
Well, we got a lot more Dougie Jones than Dale Cooper.
I know, but...
Cooper drives his family away just before the FBI arrives. Jeannie E. is so turned on by her husband's ability to drive. She gave the best performance in the show, I think, except for I guess Kyle MacLachlan, who's flipping the switch on multiple different characters.
I'm
scene to scene.
sorry, did Michael Cera not be in the show at some
forgot
point?
about that. What am I talking about? The FBI agents in Vegas.
There are so many fantastic performances throughout this.
Your Dharma. This is not my Dharma. It's the road.
Why was he only in there for 5 minutes?
We could make a legacy sequel to this, I think.
Right, Michael Cera.
Most of the people are dead, to be fair.
That's all right. I think I get what Lynch was going for. I think I could write season 4.
Diane sees a message that Mr. C tried to send earlier on her phone. It's a smiley face and the word all. I just think it's funny that he's using emojis, like primitive emojis. He doesn't have emojis, so he puts the colon in the end parentheses, so it's a smiley face. I just like the idea that he's using those things. That's a Dale Cooper thing, clearly.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think about that. But then he says all. I don't know what that means. And was there some delay in the sending? Like it didn't...
Yeah, because he was out in Wyoming mountains.
Yeah, okay.
She has a gun in her purse and heads up to see Cole. And Albert and Tammy are in there. And the music turns into this ominous, dark shit. It was a fucking hell of a walk up to that. It was terrifying.
Right.
It was like maybe the scariest thing on the entire show was Laura Dern with that gun in her purse when you have no idea what the thing's going to happen next. And she looks like bad shit's about to happen. But Cole invites her in and she sits down and she tells him about Cooper's assault on her the last time she saw him. Now, I know that you'll just cast someone like Laura Dern whenever you can, but this scene is why you cast Laura Dern. Because she's able to give you this short, emotional, destroying scene that is just so fucking perfect. The combination of how well she plays it, the horrible story she's telling, and then the reveal at the end, which doesn't really give anything away yet, but it tells you enough to know that something fucked up's about to happen. It's a perfect performance. Maybe she's the best one in the show.
What's the reveal at the end? Like the end of her speech?
I'm not me. I'm in the sheriff's station. I'm in the sheriff's station.
Yeah.
I'm not me. It's fucking crazy how good she is, because she just had an emotional breakdown telling the story of what happened with Cooper, which is a horrifying story.
Yeah.
And she also tells them, though, this is where the line of the title of the episode comes from. He showed up, no knock, no doorbell. He just walked in.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. C grilled her for information about what was happening in the FBI and then raped her. And then he took her to an old gas station. This is how we know he made Dougie Jones, because we're about to learn that I told you there was another Tulpa walking around, and it was Diane. Because when she has her moment where she has the moment of clarity and says, I'm in the sheriff's station, she says it a couple times, and then she says, I sent them coordinates, and then she says, I'm not me, and she pulls out her gun, but Albert and Tammy fire first, and Diane, revealed to be a Tulpa, flitters away the way that these things do.
Like a sheet of paper getting sucked up into the air by a wind.
So Mr. C created this 2 decades ago when he came after disappearing for 5 years. The one time she saw him, he took her above the convenience store and manufactured a new Diane.
Right.
And Tulpa Diane sits in the red room. Mike tells her, someone manufactured you. And she does not speak backwards.
No.
Which I noted. When she says, I know. Fuck you. I love Diane. Even if it's not Diane.
I like the Tulpa Diane.
Now, Dougie didn't speak backwards either, but I thought that was because he had Cooper inside of him. But after listening to the story that she told, I guess she had some Cooper inside of her too.
You have that one planned out, did you?
Scroll down. Diane's head does that broken thing, and then she burns up in the electricity and leaves behind a little gold ball.
Like they all do.
Cooper says goodbye to his family, and he tells them he has to go away for a while, but he wants to tell them how much he's enjoyed spending time with them and how happy they've made him. And he's telling the truth. I like that he has all of these memories of what happened, but also that he enjoyed it so much.
It was Naomi Watts.
I know.
Of course he would enjoy it.
He got one ride.
That's right. She gave him a ride.
He says, we're a family, and Dougie, I will be back. So you know what that tulpa he's making is for.
I knew that right away. As soon as he said he needs another.
You got one.
Yep. You knew it. You knew because Coop's a good guy.
Janie E. realizes that he's not Dougie. Sonny Jim says, no, you're my dad. And Cooper says he is his dad, and he loves them both. And he says he'll see them soon. He'll walk through that red door and be home for good. But this is maybe the real tragedy of the show, because Cooper has to leave behind the life that he not only loved and the family that he wanted and all the things he never got to have, because he has to do this mission. And he knows he's not coming back. He knows that he's provided for them.
Have we learned about Judy?
He knows about Judy.
Yeah.
That's all that matters right now.
Okay. So that's his mission. Why do they want to find something evil? I don't know.
We'll get to it next week. The Mitchums recap what Cooper has told them, which is the truth about pretty much everything. And they say they aren't usually welcome in sheriff stations with law enforcement. Cooper says, well, that's about to change. I bear witness to the fact that you both have hearts of gold, which Candy, who's been staring off the distance, says, they do. They really do. Oh, I love Candy.
There could be a whole series of the side characters of Twin Peaks.
Yeah, it's led by the FBI agents.
Yeah, well, the one that's left.
We can recast.
Yeah, we'll get a couple of trees with brains. We'll maybe get a teapot.
Everybody, Gordon Cole played by a tree with a gum in his head.
Yeah.
And Albert played by a tree with a gum in his head.
Well, maybe different. We'll just pick objects around.
No.
Everything's a tree.
The one person gets to be a teapot.
Everyone else is a
Although
tree.
Bowie was actually alive when they shot.
Yeah, I heard that somewhere.
Yeah,
Maybe
they
from
asked
you.
him, and he's like, I don't want to do it. I'm too sick to do it. Also, I hated my voice on it. But he gave them permission to be like, just redo the voice. He actually asked them, please just redo the voice, which works out because they have to then do new voices. But they probably asked him, do you just want to do the voice? We'll make you a teapot. And he's like, I hated the voice. That's how that conversation came along.
That's too bad. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, he died not too long after the show.
Oh.
Okay, now we're back at the
Now
road.
we got to recast the teapot.
Yeah, I guess he becomes a tree.
God damn it, they're all trees.
I know. Well, you know what happens up by the trees? That's where the entrance to the Black Lodge is.
One of them.
And the White Lodge. I don't know how many entrances there are to the Black Lodge. That seems to be the main one. The White Lodge, I've seen a couple different ways. But the Black Lodge just seems to always be in that one spot. Okay, now we're back at the Roadhouse for the most wild thing on this show. The MC introduces Edward Louis Severson.
That's Eddie Vedder.
The actual real government name of one Eddie Vedder, who is now playing music on stage as himself, but not as the stage name. It's a weird choice.
That's what I mean. And now we're piling on with the memoriam for a character on the show.
It's getting crazy. And he's playing an original song. It's a pretty damn good one, too. I really enjoyed that song.
It's too slow.
Sorry.
All right, I'll accept it.
Audrey and Charlie finally arrive during this performance, and the MC introduces Audrey's dance. Now, I know you have no memory.
Oh, yeah? That was something she did at a jukebox. She
in
did
like
a little
the
dance.
first or second episode of the
I
show.
remember the Audrey. That's what made me a fan of Audrey.
But what makes this so fucked up is that in world, the show, whatever she played on the jukebox, would not be called Audrey's Dance. Audrey's Dance is the name of the track on Angelo Badalamonte's album.
Oh, so another blending of reality with show and...
This is the most overt one, which is why all the times I've been trying to point them out and you've been disagreeing with me, I've been like, well, there's one coming that you can't disagree with. This is a song that does exist in the world of Twin Peaks because she plays it on the jukebox and does her dance to it. But it's not called Audrey's Dance. It is called Audrey's Dance on the soundtrack to Twin Peaks.
Oh, it's because that dance was so popular back when she did it that it became called Audrey's Dance.
She did it in front of one person at the diner.
And it came... Well, remember that one guy was singing that one song from Twin Peaks earlier?
No.
At the end, he was playing the song that was from Twin Peaks, about Twin Peaks, about the weirdos.
Oh, Moby? No, what are you talking about?
Who was it? James, maybe?
But that's a song he actually created within the world of Twin Peaks.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Okay. Audrey looks confused as the dance floor clears. This actually might have been the scariest thing in the show because it's what the fuck is happening? Why is Eddie Vedder being introduced as his actual name he's never gone under? And then the whole dance floor quietly clears as they introduce Audrey in a spotlight to dance the weird zombie dance she does 26 years ago, which, by the way, she does a different interpretation of it here. And Lynch said something like, just do the dance that you did last time. She's like, I'm 26 years older. I can't do the dance I did last time. But she does a pretty damn good job reinterpreting it here.
Seemed fine to me. That seemed like an Audrey dance.
Yeah. Yeah. It still had the same power of, it's like it transformed her and took her to a different place and took over her body, which is exactly what it was the first time. It's just, she's like, I can't move like that anymore.
That's really funny.
It is really funny. Then a fight breaks out amongst the crowd. And it's not at all dissimilar to the fight we just watched last episode, where a jealous husband is angry at somebody for messing with his wife or talking to his wife.
Yeah.
It's the same exact fight.
Right.
And Audrey panics, and she runs over to Charlie, and she says, "Get me out of here." And then we're zapped to a shot of Audrey looking at herself in a mirror, and the room she's in is completely white, or at least so bright we can't make out anything. And she confusingly asks what we're all asking, "What?" And then the episode ends as Audrey's dance plays in reverse over the credits.
Oh, it was in reverse?
It was in reverse.
I didn't even know these things.
Wild episodes of television, because you can hear it's in reverse.
I didn't notice. I thought it was a whole different song.
2 wild episodes of television with an ending that left people, because they showed episodes 17 and 18 together the next week.
Okay.
So this was the last thing we saw before 17 and 18. We're never going to see Audrey again. That was the end of it. But it ended, and it was one of the most mind-blowing moments as an ending of a show. And then to come back for 2 hours and never talk about it again.
Well, because there was always something with Audrey. There was always
Yes, everything's been weird.
Right, like she doesn't fit in. She's not there. She's not even Audrey. She doesn't know anything. She's like a blank. She's like a character without a personality or anything, or memories or anything. So I don't know if this was in the meta side of stuff, like and then she wakes up and maybe she's in a mental hospital, or maybe she's just a normal person in the world.
In Mark Frost's book that he wrote, he does bring up the mental hospital. But also, I think she would have left it by then. But people have glommed onto that's where she is. I have a different theory.
Okay.
I don't know where she actually is.
Right.
But the Billy timeline, I believe, is important, and it's established in episode 17. Nothing specific about Billy, but I think Billy is the marker that lets you know there's the official record, and then there's the record people remember. You watched 17 and 18, right?
Yeah. I did.
Okay. Spoiler for 17 and 18, he's going to go back in time and save Laura Palmer.
Maybe.
Well, if nothing else, she isn't discovered on that beach, and they're not reacting to her death. They're reacting to her disappearance, if anything. He creates an alternate timeline. One of those timelines, Audrey Horne has Richard. Well, she's raped by Mr. C in a coma. In another timeline, that never happens, and she's looking for Billy. But she seems to be the only person recognizing this isn't right.
Huh.
So we've been watching things at the Roadhouse and things in town. From our perspective, we can see both timelines. Because you can't erase your memory of what things were. For the people in Twin Peaks, they can't. Except Audrey seems to be able to understand this isn't right.
Perhaps because she was in a coma when they go in.
She's not in a coma.
But she was, so when the timeline
She
switched
wasn't
over,
in one.
when he switches, but she would have been if he went back, right?
What?
Like, if he had gone back in time, she still ends up in a coma.
How?
Wasn't she in an explosion of some sort?
But how do you know that would play out anywhere near the same? The entire town
How
is
do you
different.
know it wouldn't?
Okay, it's more likely she didn't get put into a coma twice than it is that she did.
I'll think on that. I wish I had my notebook so I could write this down as something to think about.
Well, in one timeline, there's a Billy. And there's characters that we don't see in the other timeline that are talking about Billy. That's after the change. It has to be. Or maybe it's before, I guess, because this is future Twin Peaks. But we never see characters we know except for Audrey talk about Billy. Ever. Mm-hmm. This goes back to, I don't want to get too deep into these theories, but this goes back to, why is there a part of the police station that's exactly the same, and then there's one part that seems very modern? Mm-hmm. And why are they fused together? Because we see Chad in both. So are we seeing two different timelines?
Huh. So we were watching both the Twin Peaks, like if the story had just continued, like from the original 1 and 2.
Right.
And we're also watching what would have happened if Laura Palmer never died, if she had been.
Yes.
Say, we're watching both of those things at the same time.
I think that's why there's weird things that don't quite line up. I think that's why there's weird things that don't line up. Because from our perspective, watching the box, we can see both. The characters inside of it wouldn't know that there's anything different because it just would have been the way it always went there. Whereas now we watch it and it's like, okay, why is this not fit with these other things I'm seeing? And then you put it together and go, when you see 17, it's like, because he changed things. And he tells you some things are going to change. And then it's those Roadhouse scenes where all these characters talking about things that have nothing to do with what we're talking about, they start to be like, wait a minute, Billy's on a different timeline. He's the marker. He's the one that tells you that you're in that different timeline. Now, I don't know which timeline it is, to be honest, but one of them has a Billy, one of them has a Richard Horne.
The problem I'm coming to immediately is even a lot of the Billy conversation comes at the end of an episode.
Yeah.
So does that mean that everything preceding was in?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
okay.
know, because here's the thing. Richard Horne, I don't believe exists in the Billy timeline because, as you pointed out before, Audrey Horne never brings up her son. She doesn't have a son.
Well, she's only in a couple of scenes.
But she never brings up, she doesn't have a son in that timeline. Mr. C, well, spoiler alert for what's going to happen. Mr. C doesn't exist in the new timeline. Bob doesn't exist. They kill Bob.
What?
The timeline, the alternate timeline, there's no Bob.
All right, we gotta get to the next episodes then, because I didn't see any of that.
There's a Judy, though.
There is? I thought the guy in the prison whose face was falling off, yeah. I thought that was Billy.
No, you didn't, because we talked about it last week. I brought up, do you think that's Billy? And you said no.
I think it is now.
Well, I don't think that it is.
No? I think it is.
I think he's just there to be a marker on, when people are talking about Billy, it's not the same timeline of the, well, either it can be or isn't the same timeline as everything else. Like, I don't think Big Ed and Norma are getting together. I don't think that's the Billy timeline. Or maybe it is, because it could be the same timeline and we're only seeing that. But the Billy thing is important, although those characters never talk about Billy.
No, it's always new people who talk about Billy.
Except Audrey.
Except
one time, somebody ran into the diner
Yeah.
and yelled, has anybody seen Billy? And nobody reacts.
Right. No one had a response, and that wasn't a character that
Nobody
we know.
knew.
Yeah.
Nobody there knew
Right.
who Billy was. It seems like everybody knows Billy.
That, I think, was the first time Billy was mentioned, too. Somebody ran in and shouts, has anyone seen Billy?
It might have been.
I think it
But
was.
Do you want to get into, briefly, the really fucked up part?
No.
Okay.
I do. I lied. Tell me.
When we get to the theories episode, which will be a bonus episode that comes out next week, I have a way that I've figured out to put what I think the show is. And there is a meta version of it. They're all working together. There's like 3 different levels of things that are going on, and they don't have to all make sense together, but they all make sense to themselves. On the meta level of it, Audrey, who is very confused about who she is, sometimes even talks like a character who hasn't gotten her script, she's looking for Billy. Do you know who played her love interest at the end of season 2? Billy Zane.
What?
So is she looking for Billy because that's the next scene she's supposed to be doing?
Billy Zane was in...
Yes. Get past that part.
Billy Zane? Titanic's own?
Could it be a coincidence that they picked Billy? Sure. But
It's not, though.
when there's all these meta things going on anyway, is Audrey Horne...
Who the fuck is Tina, then?
I don't know who Tina is.
Because that's who her husband talked to. And then she said something, and he was all coy about it because he's a piece of shit.
I'm not saying the Billy thing has to be real. I'm just saying that if you want to attach meta things to it, the character that she was last attached to was Billy Zane's. And does she pop out of the TV show into reality? That's it, you know what I mean? Because something's going to happen in parts 17 and 18 that makes me wonder if they're in the real world.
Let's go to 17 and 18.
All right.
What else? We're done, right? The credits went to black. They sang.
Yep, we're done. Next week, we're doing a watch-along for parts 17 and 18. And part 17 is called The Past Dictates the Future. And part 18 is called What Is Your Name?
And if there's anything I know
And there isn't.
about this show,
And there isn't.
it's that whatever the title is, somebody's going to say it in the show.
There was one thing you knew.
Now, the thing is,
Ben
Grimm. But can you predict who's going to say it ahead of time?
I can.
Really?
Well, because I've watched them.
I don't think I can.
No, I can't get them. You've watched them all. Let's see how many you can get.
There's no way you know who said everything. Are you going to go through the list of episode titles and make me try to figure out who said it?
I want to see how many you can get.
Do you actually know the answer to these?
Yes.
Oh my God.
You're going to get part 1. I believe in you.
Okay.
My log has a message for you.
The log lady.
There you go. Part 2. The stars turn and a time presents itself.
Major Briggs.
No, he only says one. He only says 2 words the entire show.
All right, I don't know who says that.
Also the log lady.
Oh.
Part 3. Call for help.
Dougie. Do the voices.
But
that
so
helps.
does someone else. So it is Dougie, but so does someone else because he has to repeat it. Part 4. Brings back some memories.
Brings back some memories. It would help if I knew what happened in each episode, but no, I don't need that. That's going to be not Cooper, but his boss, David Lynch.
That is Bobby Briggs seeing a photo of Laura Palmer. Part 5. Case files.
Dougie Jones.
Part 6. Don't die.
Dougie Jones.
No. Did I do it like Dougie Jones?
No, but Don't Die is very short, like Dougie Jones.
It is said to Dougie Jones.
Tom Sizemore.
Mike from the Red Room. Part 7. There's a body, all right.
Albert.
I think it's Cole, but I don't. It could be.
All right, I'll count that as a victory.
It could be anybody. Part 8. Got a light.
Dale Cooper.
What? You remember part 8?
I do.
Got a light.
I keep saying that now. I've been walking around for weeks saying got a light and no one understands.
Got a light.
Exactly.
Part 9. This is the chair.
Oh, shit. I don't remember.
I know you want to think it's either Andy or Lucy, but I believe it's Garland Briggs' wife.
Oh, I would have never gotten that. Yep, because that's the chair that had the secret message
Correct.
in it.
Part 10. Laura is the one.
Laura is the one. That one's going to be Cole.
Log Lady.
Goddamn log lady. She
Part
stole all the
11.
good lines.
There's fire where you're going.
Shit. Somebody said there's fire. Where's there fire? I don't know. Dougie Jones.
Log Lady. Part 12.
Log lady.
Let's rock.
Log lady.
The log lady said, let's rock.
Yes.
She's dying in her chair.
With a log. She's switching it up.
It was Tulpa Diane.
Tulpa Diane.
Part 13. What story is that, Charlie?
Audrey.
There you got one. That's only the second one you got? No, you got Dougie Jones ones. Part 14. We are like the dreamer.
Oh, that's David Lynch.
Monica Bellucci. I guess he says it too. He says it back to them.
Yes, that's the one I remember.
Yeah. Part 16. There's some fear in letting go.
I feel like I should know this because you just told me. Sheriff Truman.
It's the log lady, man.
Oh, that makes so much more sense.
Part 16.
The
No
log
knock,
lady.
no doorbell.
No, we just said this. No knock, no doorbell. Tulpa Diane.
That's right. Part 17. The past dictates the future.
Tulpa Diane.
Dale Cooper. Part 18. What is your name?
What is your name? That is, who would say that? Sounds
Now,
like
you watched part 18. There's like 2 people in the entire episode. So you got like a 50-50 shot. I know there's more people than that, but for the most part, it's 2 people walking or driving through an episode.
What was the line or the title?
What is your name?
Bill Pullman.
It's possible because he changes face. He keeps the same face though. He changes identities. No. It is Richard.
I got Richard. The fuck is Richard?
Remember Richard and Linda? 430, 2 birds, 1 stone. It's Dale Cooper in whatever form he's in part 18 when he crosses over.
Okay. No,
I knew 17 of those. There's one I don't know at all who it was.
that's really impressive. By the way, for the when we get to it, when we do the wrap up bonus episode,
Yeah.
I have firmly figured out who Bill Pullman was.
Okay.
From Lost Highway.
I'm going to guess he doesn't appear in 17 and 18.
We'll leave that. I'll point it out if it happens.
Well, I don't think that it does.
I'll point it out. Who do you think it is then?
Who do I think it is?
Yeah.
Who do I think Bill Pullman plays in Twin Peaks: The Return?
Yeah.
If I had to guess somebody, if like you forced me to play this ridiculous game that one character has come from the Lost Highway and changed his face again
yes.
to escape the authorities, I would guess he was Ray.
Who's Ray?
Ray Monroe. Ray Monroe, who gives him the bad
No.
coordinates because he was falling in with evil people, but he still had some heart to him, and he still tries to do the right thing, even though he's impotent and can't get it done.
Yeah, I think he's more of a, all right, that's an interesting choice. I can see how you got there. See, you're giving more good to him. I don't think that Bill Pullman's character was a good guy. In
No.
Lost
I
Highway.
didn't say he was good. I said he tried to be good, at least in the face of genuine horrificness.
Oh, so you're saying that he ran across this. He's been traveling the Lost Highway for 25 years.
How else did he get it attached to him, Pete?
And then he ran into this fucking thing. Okay.
Yes.
Ooh, that's a good theory. That's a good theory, Brian.
Everybody tune in next week for the
2
watch
weeks.
along for part 17 and 18, where you can hear Pete's final theory. He'll forget to do it.
It's only in the wrap-up episode.
Oh, I thought you were going to point out if he was on screen.
Oh, I'll let you know if he's
So that
on
tells
screen.
you he's not in episode 17 or 18.
But I'm going to save it for the wrap-up.
So you're going to point out if he's on screen, but you're going to save it for the wrap-up. So once again, he does not appear in part 17 or 18.
How dare you use logic against me?
And I'm looking forward to doing this watch along because I think that parts 17 and 18 are the most fascinating ending to a show ever, for good and for bad. And I've come to love the ending of Twin Peaks: The Return. It took some time, but I've come to really adore it. And all the opportunities it gives you to revisit and think back on what this is and what this meant, and how knowing that you'll never know. Some part of me loves that we'll never know. So next week, watch along for parts 17 and 18, and then later that week there'll be a bonus episode dropping in the feed where we talk about our theories, which I know is going to bleed into our conversation next week. It's impossible not to, because literally for like 45 minutes, 2 characters drive down a fucking road.
Yeah.
So it's going to come up either way.
I was going to say,
I told you before that I was like, we have to do a bonus episode. I was like, but you're going to be shocked how much time there would be to talk about it in part 18.
because I'm pretty sure everything wraps up in like half an hour, and then there's, well, now.
Yes, it does. And that's one of my favorite things about what happens in 17 and 18 is that the show ends halfway through that part 17. And then it becomes something else entirely.
Right. And then you're like, huh.
And to spoil where we're going to go next week,
The Lost Highway.
do you know when the thing changes and it turns into this cartoon ending to a TV show the way you'd end Twin Peaks? It ends with Dale Cooper's face overlaying the image, watching it all happen as if he's watching a box. So we'll see you next week for Twin Peaks The Return, watch along for parts 17 and 18. We live inside a dream. What does that mean?
Who's a dreamer?
I have 5 theories on that, and they're all
Martin
equally
Luther
valid.
King.
Famous dreamer. Akeem Olajuwon.
Freddy Krueger.
Freddy Krueger didn't dream. Freddy Krueger infiltrated your dreams. He's not a dreamer.
But he is a dream. Right? Because he's in the dream.
I guess that's true. I guess if Akeem Olajuwon's the dream, so is Freddy Krueger. Monica Bellucci.
Yep.
Famous dreams.
Yeah. I remember having dreams about her after
Wet.
Reloaded Matrix.
Famous dreams.
What?
See you next week.